Hebridean anchorages on the east side of the Hebridean Islands are quite often surrounded by little groups of islands and have sometimes complex little ways to get into quite sheltered bays. And this video is going to describe one of those and take you on the journey from the open sea through a maze of little islands to a lovely anchorage close to the shore of the main island of Lewis and Harris in the northern part of the Outer Hebrides, which is a chain of islands off the northwest coast of Scotland. The Outer Hebridean Islands of off northwest Scotland are notoriously windy, really windy. Every winter there'll be winds up here, they're probably close to, upwards of 80 knots. And although it's much calmer in the summer, there can still be some quite windy days where it might gust up to 35, 40 knots, but not that infrequently. We get winds in excess of 20, 25 knots. So there are lots of little anchorages all down the eastern seaboard of the islands themselves, and many of these anchorages have lovely little chains of islands. They're quite complex to get into these little anchorages, but once you get through the maze of islands, quite often it opens up into what is very reminiscent of a little mountain loch, except of course it's the sea, because you have rough wild terrain, sometimes mountains, sometimes just higher moorland and rocky shores. And quite often, because of the little complex chain of islands that you go through to get into these anchorages, the anchorages themselves are very well sheltered from winds, in some cases from winds in all directions. Obviously you've got to take care and make sure you do your homework and your weather forecasting and know what you're doing. But this video is going to describe and show the journey into one of these little bays. It's about 10 miles or so roughly south of a place called Stornoway, on the east side of the northernmost island and the biggest island that makes up the chain of islands called the Outer Hebrides. This is a fantastic place to both sail and explore nice, wonderful scenery. And the area is renowned for its more abundant wildlife than you get elsewhere in the UK typically, and also the incredible marine life that exists around about here. As well as that, there's an incredible cultural background of great variety, and the people here are absolutely fantastic. So as you can see, the shorelines are rugged. There's lots of little islands. There's dog legs to the left, to the right, port to starboard, whatever, to get into this bay. Lots of channels that you have to be very careful of the depths. To keep a close eye on your charts, and Tari's charts are what I use. They're in places. And the general lie of the land is barren, glaciated moorland, lots of peat, lots of rocks. In other areas of the Hebrides there are bigger mountains, but generally it's quite hilly country with lots of rock outcrops and cliffs and the like. This little bay has a small community. It's very sheltered. You can see the lovely little houses and cottages on the hillsides. And there's a few locals that have boats close into the shore. Again, in this particular little archipelago, there are lots of bays and sheltered little, anchorage spots. You could pick one of any of half a dozen easily anchorage places in this area and be well sheltered from winds in almost any direction. Fantastic little spot. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching it to this point. Thank you. Well, thanks very much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave me a like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. It helps grow the channel and is very much appreciated. Have a good one.